The Lakers hosting the Mavericks. Los Angeles sat lots of their rotation players, but this was the final preseason game for Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks, and they treated this as a dress rehearsal with the champs in the building here. Cooper Flagg once again playing the point guard,
and snatching the screws out the rim. That's what you talk about taking off. This the growth right here, Malika. The patience on the low block with a smaller defender, getting down for the and one, and that was out of transition. Blocking shots. Look at him. Look at him sprint the floor.
Sprinting the floor here.
And shooting that tray ball with confidence.
And they need him to hit that three for the floor spacing with this enormous lineup here.
So much depth.
Right here, the Mavericks getting out in transition. Cooper Flagg leaks out for the slam. He finished with 13 points, 5 of 11 shooting. The Mavs get the preseason win to close things out. So we're going to have to wait to see what Cooper's going to look like in the regular season, but we don't have to wait to go in the bonus on his preseason. So let's start with the good. Cooper's consistent scoring. He's got to double figures in all 4 games, and even though he only played 87 minutes, his output would be about 19 a game if he were averaging over 30 minutes, okay? You got that? Now for the room for improvement. The spacing, a little bit of a question here for Dallas. Flagg struggled from outside. He made just 4 of his 13 three-pointers, which is something to monitor heading into the regular season. But despite the mixed shooting numbers, he took care of the ball pretty well. He had 11 assists to 5 turnovers and went 3 games without recording a giveaway. Here's how Jason Kidd saw Flagg's progress.
I think defensively is fine. I think offensively we can get a little stagnant because we have so many mismatches. And so to play one-on-one, and that's not who we are. We want to cut. We want to use the pass. And we just didn't do that in that first 6 minutes. He's got to keep an index of who got shots, what was the last shot, and that'll come with reps. But I think he's done an incredible job of handling the situation, of running the team. And the other thing that I think that is gone unnoticed is that his teammates enjoy him running the team.
Love that insight there from Jason Kidd. Along with Bobby Marks, Kendrick Perkins, and Boban Marjanovic, I'm Malika Andrews. Cooper Flagg has impressed everyone, I think, in these preseason games. He started the last 2 games at point guard over D'Angelo Russell here. But what we just heard, it sounds like Jason Kidd maybe hasn't completely made up his mind on where Flagg fits in the lineup. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably give it an incomplete right now, just going back from Summer League to right now. I think the beauty of where Dallas is, as we've talked about their depth, it gives Jason Kidd so many different lineups to experiment. And I think the best thing for Dallas, don't be afraid to fail experimenting with lineups. That means whether it be starting D'Angelo Russell or starting PJ Washington. I just go back to that Oklahoma City team that won the championship. Last year, Malika, they started 30 different starting lineups. And did you know the one they used the most didn't even start during the playoffs here? Certainly the Chet Holmgren injury played a role here. But yeah, I do like what I've seen with Cooper with the ball in his hand. I do agree with Jason as far as from a spacing standpoint. But that's figuring out who you are as a team.
Look, they're going to be one of the better if not the best defensive team in the league, in my opinion. Now, the problem on the other hand is they got to make shots, right? Anthony Davis, he wants to play the forward position. He's going to have to knock down and shoot threes at a high rate. Cooper, obviously, you highlighted that's room for improvement there as well. But Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, they're going to have to knock down shots at a consistent rate. Because even last night we saw in the game with the Lakers, the reason that they had trouble scoring is because JJ went 2-3 zone. He was like, y'all not going to live in the paint. Y'all got to make outside shots. So, again, yes, they're going to defend at a high level. They're going to get transition baskets. The concern comes in is when they get in the half-court set, can they make wide-open shots?
Right. When Anthony Davis is playing the 4, when he's playing the 5, you have a little bit more of that stretching the floor. But while he's playing the 4 here, Bobby, which we know is his preferred position, how do they maximize this lineup? What is this lineup at its best, knowing that we're not going to get Kyrie Irving at least for the early part of the season, if not at all?
Well, you know how you maximize it on the defensive end. I mean, did you see how big this team is last night when you basically had Cooper at point guard, who's 6'8", 6'9", and then PJ and the 2 7-footers with AD and Derek Lively? I think I think that will allow them to get out and run a little bit more, open up the offense here based on what they do on defense.
And defense is the vision, right? That's what Nico Harrison was preaching when he made the trade for Luka Doncic and brought in Anthony Davis. But at the end of the day, you're asking, although Cooper Flagg has been tremendous, he's been sensational in the preseason, you're asking an 18-year-old kid, the youngest player in the NBA, to come in, to play out of his normal position, to try organizing the offense and having the ball in your hands a whole lot more for a team that going to the finals isn't enough. You have to win it all. And that is a huge task to put on an 18-year-old shoulders. What were you doing when you were 18, Boban?
When I was 18, I played World Championship with Steph Curry. It was really long time ago. But people really don't blame. Like, when you have 18 year, you try to make mistake. You will make mistake. You always make mistake.
Yeah.
It's a part of the life. When you work, it's you make mistake. Everybody make mistake, and he's super young. I think they try to put him on a different position to try him what he can do, and he can do a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that he can do a lot for a Dallas Mavericks organization that has a ton of expectations this season. It's just a Herculean task. So that's Dallas's side of this preseason tilt. As for the Lakers, we expect to see Luka in their last preseason game on Friday, but LeBron James has already been ruled out for the start of the regular season with sciatica on his right side. Now, the Lakers announced that he would be reevaluated 2 to 3 weeks from now, but the timeline for his return, it is starting to crystallize. So for more, we welcome in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what details do you have on when we could see LeBron return to the floor and what that process is going to look like for him?
Malik, I'm told LeBron and the Lakers are beginning to look at around mid-November as a realistic potential return and debut for him. October 30th is the soonest they're going to officially reevaluate LeBron James, but it's expected he's going to need some time, probably a couple weeks, 3 weeks after that point. And one thing to keep in mind here with this return process from injury is a source told me this week that LeBron will be taking a patient approach from the rehab with this nerve issue that he's had. And you think about the ramp-up period that he's going to need to get into basketball conditioning, to get into the proper shape that we're accustomed to from LeBron James, because this was not a routine offseason for him. He had this first nerve issue start to develop and occur in late July, early August, and so it's been really an uphill battle since that point. He's superhuman, we all know that, but he is about to be 41 in December, and he is in year 23, so expect some point in November, likely around that mid-November period.
Okay, mid-November is what we could be looking at here for LeBron James. Shams, we appreciate you. We'll see you a little bit later in the show. What you were just looking at on your screen, if we could put that back up, actually, it was the first 20 games of the Lakers season. So if the timetable would hold for that true November right here, LeBron could make his debut around the week of Thanksgiving. Los Angeles plays just 8 games against opponents who made the postseason in their first 20 this season, okay? So they don't have a horrible schedule, Bobby, to start off the year. Of course, what goes through my mind is LeBron James has made 21 straight All-NBA teams. It's something we haven't seen before, and I don't think we'll ever see again. But with him out until mid-November, what could be the biggest challenge facing the Lakers?
I think it's going to be offensively here. I think how do you replace a player that scored in the mid-20s consistently every year here? And when you look at what the Lakers tried doing last night is they basically have been trying to force feed Dalton Connect and trying to give him a bigger role here, and he has certainly been inconsistent. I think you know what you're going to get with Luka every night, and you do know what you're going to get with Austin Reeves, but it's who out of the role players